Center, Oklahoma weather expert, Lacey Swope.
All right, we got some good weather and an eclipse coming. Lacey?
What? We have that eclipse coming on Saturday. I was just looking at the football games. I think that'll be so interesting on Saturday. This is happening Saturday. A lot of games, of course, kicking off at 11 o'clock. OU has a bye week. OSU plays at home, but the game starts after the eclipse is over. One of the biggest games, just looking at the schedule, looks to be Arkansas taking on Alabama at Alabama. And during the game, an eclipse happening. Like, it's just going to be wild, right? What's the implication going to be? I have no idea, but it's going to be a wild sky, and you'd think pretty distracting. But as we go throughout the day on Saturday, especially through the early morning, 10:30, you'll start to notice that shadow from the moon over the sun. We do have a high, thin cloud cover that's going to be possible off and on through the peak, which for Oklahoma and Oklahoma City is going to be about 80–85%, and coverage, that is. It's not going to be a complete and total solar eclipse. But 11:49, that's the maximum. Temps in the 50s, 60s. Looks great for viewing. And of course, the weather team, we will be down in Norman at the National Weather Center for the National Weather Festival. And we hope you will join us down there. We'll all be checking out the eclipse, that's for sure, and talking all things weather. We have wind picking up. That's going to be something you notice first. Ahead of our next storm system, the winds come ripping up the plains. A south wind bringing in Gulf moisture, setting the stage for at least some severe weather in the plains coming up for Thursday evening and Thursday night. That's a ways away. Today, your Tuesday, it's pretty quiet across Oklahoma. Next Gen Live, scanning the skies, not a cloud in the sky. Lucky Star Skycam Network live from OCCC. Starting to see a little bit of fall colors. We're starting to get a little bit more brown, a little bit of orange. Some of the trees, some of the elm trees, starting to get a little bit of yellow in them. Usually peak fall foliage for Oklahoma is more into November. 62 degrees is where we are right now. It's 62 in Shawnee, 59 in Chandler, 60 in Fort Cobb, 59 in Weatherford. So 50s, 60s feels wonderful, but there is a warm up on the way. And for October, it's a pretty hefty one. We're talking 80s, and not just low 80s, mid, even some upper 80s with full sun and that south wind. Only about 10 to 20 today. The winds start picking up tonight and tomorrow. Highs in the mid upper 80s, still a little cooler in the northeast, 70s, low 80s, still impacted by this low. We've been showing you the big swirl over Canada that's just been pulling in Canadian air from the jet stream level down through the plains. But as that lifts away, we get a little bit of a ridge to try to work its way in. And as it does, south wind, mild temperatures above average until we get to Thursday. And then we're watching the storm system moving through. The path that it's taking, it's going to dump some heavy snow in the mountains of Wyoming and northern Colorado. May bring some snow to Nebraska, wintry mix possible in Kansas. And then ahead of it, expecting supercells to take off northeastern Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, up into Iowa. Severe weather will be the story coming up in that portion of the country. For Oklahoma, the north winds take hold. We're cooler into your Friday, into your Saturday. We're dry. We need rain. It's not going to bring a lot of rain to Oklahoma. And then we're pretty quiet until the next storm. But it arrives with a strong cold front midweek next week. Again, storm chances go up. It's actually looking a little bit better as far as the rain chances go. That's storm number 2. So what's going on today and tomorrow? Rain moving in over the deep south and east Texas. That system doesn't impact Oklahoma. Thursday, dry line sets up in the west, quickly overtaken by the cold front. Thunderstorms start to take off Thursday evening. May try to build down into central Oklahoma. Higher chance to the northeast. And then we clear it out, and we're pretty cool coming up for your Friday. Overnight tonight, 60s on the way. Our highs will be in the 60s after the system moves through. Highs tomorrow into the lower mid-80s, turning windy. Thursday, mid-80s, 90s in the southwest. Hot, very dry air, extreme fire danger behind that boundary. Then the evening, the cold front sweeps in. 20 to a 30% chance of rain in Oklahoma City, slightly higher to the northeast. And any storm that can fire up Thursday evening could produce some quarter-size hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. We'll monitor that. Dry with a little cloud cover possible. Still looks great for the viewing of the eclipse on Saturday. And there's highs in the 60s through next week. Back to you guys.
Up next.